very easy to focus on the negative. Hello, we unbox. Oh, blimey, look at that, she's already painted. How fantastic. She wasn't really. She's just gorgeous. She really is. So yeah, there's no kind of crisp white undercoat preview for this one. I managed to salvage some bits, well, principally two bits, the Warlock and the Witch Totem. You'll notice that there's a little ball patch on a base. Couldn't salvage the fox that goes on there. I am a sucker for a character with little forest friends, so I'm looking forward to getting my replacement there. Really quite pleased with how she's turned out, to be perfectly honest. I think that dark blue and that red, really kind of classic Russian Cossack colours, which I think work really nicely. And ooh, who's that hoving interview? And that warm red for the scabbard for the gun. Do you get a scabbard for a gun? Whatever. Works really nicely with them as well. And again, just that sort of test. Does she look alright with Zacchaeus? And do you know, I quite like them together. They look like disparate things. They have their own identity, but they do look like they share a reality, which I think is really quite important for a game like War Machine, where you can end up with a lot of different looking things. I must get a turntable. This is a very ghetto solution. Not at all pleased with that. But yeah, I think they look good. I am a free speech absolutist. We must be able to say what we think. We must be able to speak our truth. No one, nothing should be exempt from criticism or critique. Similarly, no one or nothing should be excluded from compliment or praise. I submitted a ticket to SFG's help desk. I'm not sure what they call it, but their customer services. Got a very prompt response, despite getting an automated reply saying it would be about 5 days before I could expect a reply. That response came fully within hours rather than days. Very pleased with that. And you know, the I'm going to say guy. I don't know anything about the person that helped me, but the person that helped me was entirely polite, really understanding, and engineered a resolution which I think was entirely fair and appropriate. Essentially, I'm going to get some replacement bits sent from, they said America, and I ought to give it some time. I wasn't entirely happy with give it some time. I would like to know kind of how much time to reasonably give it, bearing in mind that the pre-order was, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, and I've just had a bit of a mess about. I would like a bit of opportunity to plan, etc. Because I really enjoy making these videos, and I need something to do rather than just sit here and rant on like a lunatic. So I went back and said, that's absolutely fine, great, smashing, thank you, but can we firm up the estimate of time a little bit? They said that they would contact the Americas and see what they could do. In the meanwhile, they've decided to actually fulfil that replacement from EU production, wherever that may be. I'm not entirely sure. They did say, in order to fully investigate the issue, could I send the stuff back to them in order that their production manager could have a look and see if we can make sure that it doesn't happen again. And essentially, I would have loved to have. I really would, because I do firmly believe, said in the last one, we should report problems that we have, and we should support the company in rectifying those problems. Sadly, I'm not willing to go rummaging in my wheelie bin for bits of resin. And as soon as they said that the replacement was in train, essentially I checked to make sure what size magnets I would need for the beasts, and I binned it. So yeah, if anyone wants some stuff, just go rummage in my wheelie bin. It's absolutely smashing. Yeah, so we are where we are. But essentially, I cannot fault the actions taken by that guy at customer services, who was smashing. Absolutely great. I'm really quite impressed with that. So I do think if you're going to spout off, as one has a habit of doing, It's important to kind of give a bit of a nuanced view as well. Two other things that I haven't really mentioned, I don't think, in this series thus far. The quality of the sculpt. Can't beat it. I would contend that the resin stuff for War Machine that I have seen thus far, probably the nicest miniatures available on the market today. And I say, amid all the kind of frustrations, etc., perhaps I've lost sight of that, and I apologise if I've kind of sold you a bit of a pup and just been relentlessly grim about stuff. The sculpts are absolutely beautiful. Can't argue with it. They just are. The SKS stuff, it's a little bit less exciting to me. The hips, the plastics, a little bit less exciting. They're still nice. Don't get me wrong. But the resins are special. The resins are special. So I think that bears speaking on. And the other thing, I'm going to go back to being a bit of a Mardy get now. It's paint. I had to fire a little flare in the War Machine chat group today about fanatic paints. I'm having a terrible trouble with paint wearing off things that I'm painting while I'm painting them. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. I thought, is it the resin? I don't think it is. Alright, I had some issues with this latest batch, but Zacchaeus was perfect. In terms of material quality, Zacchaeus was perfect. And I had the same difficulty with him. Those big sweeping bits of his cloak, I've lost count of how many times I've painted them because they just rub off. Razor, the Warjack, the rivets on top of him particularly, I've painted them 8, 9, 10 times because they keep going bald. It can't be the resin. Can't be the resin. And the Warlock that I've painted there, I keep referring to her as the Warlock because I can never remember her name. That's principally because Bodan's my boy. I can feel it in my waters. Bodan's my boy. Everyone else is just whatever. Bodan's my lad. But paint just kept rubbing off. Just kept rubbing off. No idea why. Absolutely no idea why. Fired a flare in the chat group. I don't think it's a material. It's not my undercoat. I've been using the same undercoat forever and a day. The undercoat's fine. There's only two other things it can be. One, I vape. And I sub-ohm vape. Big obnoxious clouds. Goes everywhere. Is that leaving some sort of greasy build-up on things? Don't know. Or is it the paints? I've got the Army Painters John Blanche set 1. I love it. Colours are phenomenal. But is it them paints? Is it fanatic paints? Has anyone had this sort of experience themselves? One lad comes up because I have minor rubbing on like fingertips and things, but that's it. Nothing major. Another guy comes up and says, yeah, absolutely. I'd put it down to me being heavy-handed, but perhaps it's something else. I know the answer is that I should use a painting grip. But look, stay to me. I'm ancient. I'm too old to be changing my stance at this point in time. So it's something to be aware of. Really, I do think it's something to be aware of. If you're a fanatic paint user, it'd be really interesting to know what you think. If you are fanatic paints curious, it is my experience that you might want to consider using a paint grip of some kind in order to prevent that rubbing. I tend to record these bits of these videos quite early in the morning. Insomnia is a hell of a thing. Sleep is something that I'm not at all good at. But my husband is upstairs abed, asleep, quiet. My dogs tend to be asleep on the sofa. I don't know how many times I've tried to record this flaming bit now, when my dog's been up, wagging his tail, flapping his head about, tip-tapping on the floor, drinking water, eating crunchy biscuits. He's just settled, so if you can hear strange noises, I promise you it's not me. But my final thought, don't be put off by the rumblings and the grumblings and the rambling on of an old frog. Similarly, I suggest don't be seduced by everyone telling you that everything's brilliant. The truth is somewhere between those two perspectives, and your truth will be different to my experience and to some of the things that other people may try and sell you. I've spoken at quite extensive length with me War Machine pals, many of whom have had no significant issues with what they've received from SFG. A couple of people have found levels of breakages, etc., to be somewhat unacceptable. I say, he pays your money, he takes your choice. Is it worth it to me? Yeah, it is. War Machine's my favourite game. I'm not saying it's the best game out there, but it's my favourite. And I love it. And I am prepared to deal with the pain to get that reward. One of the guys in the group chat said, as I mentioned in the last video, keep giving them chances because the reward is worth it. And for me, it is. So that's that. I definitely think that 3D printing, much like online rules and app-based updates, etc., they are the future of our hobby. Does that mean that they're the present? I'm not so sure on that point. I guess that remains to be seen. I'm hopeful that the replacements that SFG are sending me out fit the bill. I'm really hoping, for many reasons, because I want this to be a good fun experience. And I don't want to sit here grumbling and ranting on. I derive no pleasure from it. I want to share a happier, more fulsome tale of joy and pleasant things. I want to take it right the way through, rolling dice in anger with my boys, playing my game. So stay tuned, hopefully we get to that point and we get there soon. That's pretty much it from me. I just wanted to say that in the last 24-48 hours, people have taken my points on board, they've taken them seriously, and they've offered me what I believe to be a fair resolution to them. I'll catch you next time. Ta-da.